Hey everybody, welcome back to the Land of Low Friction, hopefully for the second time today. And let's see if this video can help with a fun topic. Does the color of your chain affect the wax bond and therefore wax treatment lifespan? This is a topic that first came up, I'm gonna guess about a year ago, but with honestly my abilities on time spans, could be 6 months ago or 3 years ago. Somewhere in there, this came up. It initially came up on a Silca video where they had put out that they believe that the Sram Rainbow color chains were giving customers a lower wax treatment lifespan versus the silver. And so then I delved into that at the time. But yeah, that's me covering that topic is lost somewhere in amongst all my sort of news updates on a video. Let's give it its own separate vid so we can always refer back to this, and let's see if we can solve this one once and for all. And I'm looping back to this one now because, yeah, strangely, there's been a decent increase in the number of email inquiries in the last, sort of X months from people just sort of emailing in, looking, or they're wondering what color to get. They're worried about getting a rainbow because of the potential decrease in wax treatment lifespan, or they're saying out of the gold and the black, which one's got the best wax bond and best wax treatment lifespan. So people are getting a little bit pent up and wanting to check before they purchase that they're getting the right color that's going to give them the best wax life and running. And so it's time to put this one to bed properly and get the right knowledge out there. Let's go. What are these groovy colors? So there's two key points. What are they and where are they? The what is they can vary a little bit, so we can see here that typically shiny silver chains, that will be a nickel plating. If it is gold, black, rainbow, oil slick, copper, pretty much all the time that will be a titanium nitride. SRAM have their black XO for T-type, which they call a PVD. PVD is physical vapor deposition. Not the kind of deposition where the vapor is taking a statement from you for legal purposes. This is where it is being deposited on in a very thin layer. And that is basically the same process as here. So these could also be called PVD. They just call them, here's our TIN plating. KMC, they have their DLC, which is, I think, from memory, it's a titanium carbon I can't remember. Ends up what they refer to as a diamond-like hardness coating. So that is something slightly different again. So what they are can vary a little bit, but the key is, and this is the really important part, is that they are a very thin, hard external plating. And the other very key point to that is that they are applied after the chain is constructed, which obviously helps keep it just external. The fact that these platings are applied after the chain is fully constructed, and that they are most definitely an external plating only, this may be starting to paint a picture as to what impact they may or may not have on the wax bond inside your chain, which is what determines the treatment lifespan and performance of the chain actually running. So is there a performance benefits to any of these platings? And in short, no. They are going to be basically at least 99% cosmetic. That is the only reason for having them. There can be a case made around some of them may help prevent some spot rusting or oxidation. So like a TIN plating or a lot of the PVD, DLC, they are not going to start to spot, rust, or oxidize as easily or as quickly as, a grey metal Shimano chain. And strangely enough, some of the Shimano, especially in the 12-speed, their shiny outer plates on the M8100 and the M7100 have been quite rust-prone. So there's exceptions almost to everything, but by and large, there can be a level of extra corrosion protection from these platings for a period of time until they themselves start to wear off, and they will always wear off the rollers first, and the rollers are always the first thing to start to spot oxidize. But without going on a tangent too much on that, if you're having any oxidation issues with your chain, you've got bigger problems, or sort of something else to focus on to resolve that, which will typically be a very easy thing to do, to look after your chain so that it doesn't start to spot rust or oxidize after riding, rather than trying to depend on any kind of plating to help give you some extra protection. You should not be looking for that from your chain. You should just be doing the simple basic steps around chain lubrication and care post wet rides to make sure that it is not an issue. Outside of any very small potential benefit for a very small subset of cyclists who like to challenge their chains' rusting potential, is there any other performance benefit? No. So whatever coating you have on your chain, its only other interaction is going to be between the roller and your obviously chainring teeth and cassette cog teeth, really. The sides of the plates may be very lightly sliding down the sides of the tooth on some chainline angles. But these friction loads overall from those interactions are extremely low, and any improvement that these platings may or may not give over other chains that don't have platings, with that, I guess, focusing on that specific sort of friction interaction, it's going to be zero unless you've got the resources of CERN to try to detect these difference between, say, a TIN chain and a non-TIN chain, and the friction difference between the roller and the chainring teeth and cassette cog teeth and the side of the plates to the side of the teeth. Like, no. Even if it could be detected, we're probably talking in the thousandths of a watt, and it's just not a thing. And as such, as that friction interaction is basically undetectably low, they don't help from a wear perspective, because you don't wear through the sides of your link plates, and you typically don't wear through the outer diameter of your rollers, again, unless something else weird is going on. So if at any time a manufacturer claims that their chain is, say, lower friction due to, like, specifically the TIN or the DLC coating, ask for the testing and receipts on that, so that they can prove that they've tested that chain versus the same without. And here's the difference: they will not be able to do that. If they claim that their chain is a longer lasting chain because of, say, the diamond-like hardness coating, bear in mind, again, it's only on the outside. You do not have a diamond-like hardness coating on your pins and the inner link plate bore and the inner link plate shoulders and the roller bore, all the parts that actually wear from your pedaling load and use. Since it's not there, it cannot extend the wear life of the chain. So any manufacturer that claims that their external plating is increasing the wear life of the chain, again, ask them for the testing receipts on that. They will never in a million years be able to provide it to you, because it does not exist, and it does not and cannot happen. So in summary, all of these different color platings, coatings, whatever you want to call them, of the various types, as they are external only and applied after the chain is constructed, they are at least 99% cosmetic and have no bearing on the lifespan or performance in any way of the chain. And you're probably guessing where this is leading in regards to the level of impact it may have on your wax bond and wax treatment lifespan inside the chain. Right, so considering that these coatings, platings, are most absolutely on the outside only and applied after the chain is constructed, and are not inside the chain on any of the parts and running that actually matter, their impact on your wax bond and wax treatment lifespan, and or for wax strip or any lubricant, is precisely a donut, zero. It simply does not and cannot have an impact on what is happening inside the chain, because this is a plating that is applied on the outside of the chain after it is constructed. It'd be a bit like riding to RockShox and going, ooh, which one has the better performance, the red one or the blue one? Like, if it's the same model fork, and it's just a different color, the color of the stanchions is not going to impact the performance inside the fork where all the action's happening. It's basically exactly like that. So sometimes, obviously some products are using different colors to denote a different level of product, in which case sure, but same chain, different colors is the same as same fork, different color. The color on the outside is not impacting what's going on the inside. So what was Silca on about? That one's a bit of a, I'm going to have to guess. So, like, I've been selling a lot of chains for a long time. We've been averaging about 1,500 chains a year for some years now. We sell a lot of Rainbow. It's a popular color, so across YBN 11 speed, 12 speed, and SRAM, both red level and across their, what's the other one? The Eagle, sorry, XX1s. Never, ever, not once in all this time have we had somebody complain about wax treatment or wax bond lifespan due to any rainbow color or any other color of those chains. So typically the YBNs and SRAMs have really good wax bond. And I personally have also used some rainbows in my time across both because I also have generally liked that color, and wax bond has been mega. So yeah, this one is a bit interesting and I have to guess a little bit. So there's two potentials. So when I say that the external plating cannot and will not have any impact on what's going inside, that part is obviously true, but it doesn't exclude the fact that maybe SRAM did a furphy on a particular batch of rainbow chains. Something was funny with that batch with their treatments inside the chain, so their low friction coating they use and the chromium treatments they use inside. If something was out of whack for a particular batch and it happened to be a batch of rainbow chains and it happened to be a batch that Silca got hold of, and that impacted, that's my best guess. If if a difference has been so noticeable that either Silca have noticed it directly in amongst their own staff and users, or athletes have fed back, strangely a number of times now, it's always on a Sram Rainbow chain that the customer's getting a really short wax treatment lifespan, but we're not getting this for any other chain. Perhaps there's an issue with SRAM and their Rainbow. But yeah, considering how not widespread, like I've never heard of it outside of that video by Silca, and there's a lot of places selling a lot of wax chains these days. It's just not something that has ever come up or been spoken about until that video came out from Silca. So yeah, that's the only explanation I can think of around what may have happened for Silca to have noticed a problem. But that would be, like, it's not impossible, but the odds that SRAM would have that happen on a batch, it seems low. Their processes for their chain manufacturer is pretty dialed, but it's non-zero. It could have happened. The other could be, and I don't know because I don't know what Silca's processes are, it could be that if they were prepping a batch of rainbow chains that something went wrong with their prep on the SRAM Rainbows. Maybe they didn't give them sufficient cleaning rounds before they went into the waxing. Not sure. But what I can say, without something extraordinarily weird happening from a SRAM manufacturer batch of chains, or was it something at the Silca side, for every other case of rainbow chains on Earth outside of those two possibilities, the rainbow color on the outside will have absolutely zero impact on your wax bond and wax treatment lifespan on the inside, because simply it cannot. It's on the outside, and it was after the chain was constructed. It just can't do anything at all, even if it really, really wanted to the wax bond or wax treatment inside the chain. Right, now, yes, I do very much wish that Silca had not put out that information on their video, and this is not beef, this is just me being thorough on topics as I am, but it has just opened a whole can of worms, like basically the toothpaste out of the tube now, and it's very hard to get back in. Like, obviously I'm fairly small, so it doesn't matter what videos I make. People everywhere out there in the world now are, that have seen the Silca video are going to be worried about what chain color they should get to ensure that they're not hurting their wax treatment lifespan, or wanting to know what color's giving them the best wax treatment lifespan. And that's just a whole mess when it doesn't and cannot have any impact at all, because it's an external plating applied after the chain is constructed. So, outside of the extremely weird, odd, tiny possibility that a manufacturer on a batch has done something weird on a batch color internally with their low friction coating or chromium platings that's then had an impact. General rule of thumb, it'd be a bit like if we go back to the Fox example, let's say, or the RockShox I had up there. Let's say on a batch of forks, RockShox screwed up something with the damper for a batch of blue forks. It is not then ad infinitum forever that RockShox blue color forks are shit and you need to get the red. If there was a batch issue for those for a particular run on a particular thing, that is what it is. So it can't be a carte blanche thing now that we apply forever. So I do wish that, being that Silca know you would think at least as much about chains as I do, knowing that these platings are external only after the chain is constructed, if they thought that they had an issue with some Rainbow SRAM chains, then they should have a look. Number one, make sure it's not a prep thing internally, and number two, have a chat with SRAM, find out what happened potentially with the batch of chains they received from SRAM. Not put out there carte blanche rainbow color chains give you a lower treatment lifespan, because now here we are. Now, somebody may recall that video better than me, because I delete files in my mind like you would not believe. I have dusty memories of that. In their video they did allude or sort of correlate directly the rainbow color and the titanium nitride of that the wax simply bonded worse to that. So there were, I believe they were making a direct link that the wax is just not going to bond as well to the rainbow titanium nitride. And if that memory is correct, and someone please let me know if you recall it that way as well, then obviously, being that is only on the outside, that is a little bit kind of nuts. So, just, oh my Lord Farquhar, it's only on the outside. If the wax falls off the outside of the chain, who gives a flying hoot? As we know, wax on the outside does not mean anything to us at all. So, so that, from memory, the direct sort of linking of the wax not bonding as well to the rainbow color didn't help people's understanding on this matter, and know that the rainbow color is actually only external and not internal, and not doing anything in that regard. So I would hope that this gets maybe clarified on their side as well one day on a video or episode, to say, we thought that, but actually that was a whoops, and let's clarify that, and this is what we thought happened. All right, let's hope these show up on the video okay. This is a SRAM XX1 Eagle Rainbow. So we can see on the one end, this is the end that would have been left open during the chain construction, which you join with the other end that when asked you to cut your chain to length with a master link. So we can see that the Rainbow TIN is coating that inner link plate. However, on the end that has been cut, so this is the spare section after we've cut this off to get the chain to the correct length, we can see that there is in fact no Rainbow TIN on that inner link plate. Let's just take that link off. I'm not sure how many chains we should do this for. I don't have a spare set of their Rainbow E1 links, but for many reasons I can assure you that they cannot and do not apply this to the parts of the chain before the chain is assembled. It is only ever done for all chains, all brands, after the chain is constructed. Therefore, this coating is most absolutely external only. That is always the case, and as it is external only, it can have no impact on what is running inside the chain. So where we need our wax bond, which is obviously on the pin running through the roller bore, the inner link plate bore, the roller bore onto the inner link plate shoulders, all of that, as we can see, is rainbow free. And we can have a look at the pin. The pin is a nice shiny silver, no rainbow TIN plating anywhere to be seen internally. And again, that is always going to be the case, no matter what. That's a silver. Let's have a look at a gold chain. We can see we have gold on the end of this link here, so this would not have been the end that we cut off on that one. Let's open this one up with my wonderful Abbey Tools chain breaker, making my chain breaking life as easy as possible. Oops. Ta-da! Oh my god, it's silver. There's no TIN gold inside the chain, and hopefully that shows up there. That is silver. Silver. Everything inside is silver, and the pin is silver. So you can do this on a KMC DLC chain, any color. Internally, it will not have that plating or coating on it. Holy Batman people, it is external only. It will not affect your wax bond. Alright, that'll do. So yeah, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, share this one around. Let's help me try to get the toothpaste back in the tube on this one, that chain color does not impact your wax bond or wax treatment lifespan, and you can apply that across any lubricant that you're using for your chain. Do not worry about the color. Choose the right chain for you based on its longevity, speed, other, just its general performance and match for your system. Choose the color that you like, because it's going to rock your bike, and do not worry at all that that color is going to affect how long your lubricant treatments are going to last. All right. That's probably going to be it for me today. Look forward as always to your comments and input and questions, and yeah, I'll try to chat to you where I can over the weekend, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.